There we go. Stream is up and running. Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. Before we jump onto the charts, which we are about to do, 9:32 a.m. Eastern here on this beautiful May 22nd, make sure you read what's on the screen. Trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all of your money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content like Top 1 Futures, Code RDF, Bookmap, and others. Let's jump onto these charts, see what we have going on this morning. We are looking at ES. We're going to be dropping down to the 15-minute chart, but we are here on the Project X Top 1 Futures platform. Copy trading 350K straight to funded accounts. Trading for profit that we stand to withdraw if we can meet all of the qualifications to hit that withdrawal. Jumping out to the daily. Let me make sure stream looks good. What's going on? Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the show, guys. Welcome to the show. Yes, stream looks okay so far. Let me just check one thing, guys. Yeah, someone was complaining yesterday my mic was super low. And I actually saw it on the recap. Can you guys tell me, someone in the chat, tell me if this mic sounds okay, voice sounds clear, you could hear me all right, or if it sounds like super duper low. I'm not going to start messing with too many settings, but I'm just curious on what that sounds like. Sounds great. Nice. Thank you. All right, let's jump into it. Markets open Thursday. We got past some red folder news. Hopefully, good morning. Hopefully we can find some setups, get some trades rolling, man. Market's been tricky. Super duper tricky. Very, very choppy for New York session yesterday. So we're going to see what we can do today. Let's get this rolling. All right, we are out here on the daily chart. As we know, U.S. indices have really been pushing off this bottom. If we scroll out and just kind of do like a lot of higher time frame analysis, which is not too helpful for what we're doing, but just for fun, we came like what? 20 some odd points, 20 some odd percent, 22% off these highs. We've bounced 23, 24% off of these lows. We're only like, I think I saw the news headline was under 5% from this high that we put in near the 6,000s off of the highs, at least here in the futures contract that we're trading here, this ESM 25. This is very bullish, guys. Very, very bullish. Now, as we drop into kind of what's happened up here, we got real close to tapping that 6,000 level, consolidated up here. We consolidated a lot yesterday. We're really pushing up. I had this short bias coming into the afternoon that ended up paying me. I had to take some L's, take some haircuts on the way to finally getting back towards break even, which is not what I wanted to do. Not really happy how I made it happen, but this was a gnarly bearish bar yesterday, all the way back down to prior week value area low. Obviously, an area that's been tested multiple times, right? If we look back here into March, we could see that was a key pivotal point. We pulled back before we dropped off from that point. That's right back where we are at, just higher time frame, basic support and resistance areas. If we look on the daily, this is an area of high volume down here. Again, we got some overlapping levels. A lot of it is just the current candle and prior day's low. But this would be a key point, right? Kind of the halt on when we had this huge gap up and push up on this Monday here. Came back to retest, and then we pushed off from that level. We even retested down here a couple days later. So higher time frame structure, we're at a pivotal point, right? The 5850s, trading that out right now. Selling off to the downside, we got a lot of liquidity all the way down to the 5800s, which doesn't look that far on the daily chart, but it is quite far. And then, if we're just going to find support here and bounce and just start ripping, that would be really nice, clean uptrend structure. I'm coming into today fairly unbiased. Gun to my head, I could see a clean out towards the 5800s, really just take everybody else out that was getting long too early on this bad boy. But I'm going to stay unbiased, right? Trade it the same way that I do, around these choppy sessions. But you can see what happened yesterday. Gnarly sell off into the close. Balance overnight, really just nothing through Asia and London. And then into pre-market, late London, we started to sell off. We put the low in, cracked below prior day's low, and that's where we're sitting right now. We returned to VWAP coming into pre-market. And now we are selling off a little bit at the open, 9:37 a.m., testing this prior day low level. If you guys know, you've hopped on the streams before. I don't like to get involved really, really quickly off the open. 9:45, I really like to give it until 9:45 if I can stay that patient. Unless I have something that is beautifully setting up, which I don't yet. Taking a look at bookmap with you guys. Yeah, let's go ahead and share the bookmap screen, because we got some fun stuff on bookmap, and I want to do a better job of sharing bookmap. Show you what that looks like. I'm actually going to throw this link in the chat. Fair warning, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated with bookmap. You want to check it out. Link is in the chat to get the best deals. Let's take a look at bookmap together here. I'm going to stop this. You're going to see my ugly face. Stop screen, and we're going to look at bookmap together here. My favorite order flow tool, looking at some level 2 data. Can I find it? Nice. Nice. Cool. So again, this is bookmap. This is level 2 data. That's what we're looking at here. Really just a fancy software to give you a heat map by way of a traditional depth of market. It looks crazy. It looks complicated. It's really not. We're looking at price levels over here. And I actually just did a video on this. I'm going to be going on YouTube soon. Price levels over here, and then quantity of orders on the book at specific price levels. I find this incredibly helpful. Some traders do not. There's plenty of profitable traders that trade with no order flow, no level 2 data, not paying attention to liquidity in the market, none of that stuff. So it's up to you. I find it as different data, right? Different information. It's not printed in price yet. That could be an argument to not pay attention to it. But anyway, I like it. So what I'm paying attention to today, all the way down to the 5,800, big round psychological number, obvious level, right? You probably don't need bookmap to tell you we're going to have a couple hundred orders on the book down here. Up above price, somebody's interested, obviously, in getting involved up here at the 866s. And then we're pretty thick above and below. So this isn't giving me massive indication one way or the other, because we got orders somewhat equal on both sides of this book, right? It's not like we have nothing to the upside and orders are just stacked on the buy side down below price. It's somewhat evenly matched, but we got some key areas that I'd be paying attention to. I think we could start to move back and forth to fill some of this. As we move, do these orders move around? Is it spoofing? Is it manipulation? You can tell that in real time as we get close. Obviously, that can influence how you utilize it in your trading. But this is pretty basic. I run it very zoomed out, very, very basic pattern recognition. You can get so technical. You can go into so many different market narratives and market mechanics as to why and how price is doing what it's doing, market auction theory. I look at it like a dumb guy and I go, ooh, look, a lot of orders on the book up here. Let's see what happens today. Okay, well, I watched it for a year, 12 months every single day during NYSE session. I start to get a feel for how price moves around these orders. So today, looks like we're pushing the upside so far. Again, I don't have a super duper strong indication. Obviously, this would be an interesting level to keep an eye on, the 866s. We crack that. We still have orders coming up to the 70s and 75s. There is not as much as there is right down here, but 134 on the book, nothing to bat an eye about, right? You can see how that is higher relative to what's on the book for today. Well above that, it doesn't get super thin all the way up to the 900s, but it's not massive. We don't have huge stacks like we do, or decent sized stacks, right? Because sometimes you could see, 800, 1,000 on the book or more. Don't have a huge stack like we do until we get all the way down to the 800s. And to the downside, this is pretty thick. 187 down to 825. Quite a few hundred lots sitting on the book, or at least, 100 in total sitting on the book down here. So not a super strong indication out of bookmap, but interesting to see that there is a lot resting on the book above and below price. Oftentimes, doesn't look like this. It's fairly dark. Maybe that indicates kind of slow moving market where we're just not going to see a lot, or it's going to be very heavy one side. But to me, this looks like we could, initial thesis, just looking at bookmap, maybe we crack towards this 68s, fill that. That's what I'm going to be interested in watching for a potential short. Fill that maybe towards the 75s. It'd be nice if there wasn't too much above it. And then continue lower, right? We got a lot on the book down here to maybe get through. Price loves to come through these levels. Does it today? Maybe not. Maybe we just push off after that sweep of prior day low like we saw in the pre-market session. So let me hop back to my trading screen since we are starting to push back above VWAP here. Nice, nice, nice. I'm going to find a faster way to do that. So we're cracking back above VWAP. Kind of choppy so far. Again, I could see this up to, yeah, I'd have to wait. Although we have quite a bit on the book down here at the, what we're looking at here on bookmap, at the 66s. Ooh, it actually just came off. Wow, that stack that was there, 242, is off the book. It's down to like 80 or so orders. The stuff that's up at 75, 76 is still there. The stuff at 70 is still there. But there we go. Like I just mentioned, is it spoofing, manipulation? These orders are kind of being placed to lure people, whether it's institutions, retail, whatever. They come on and off the book. Is it just a genuine person that said, oh, you know what? Price is doing something different. Volume's looking different. I don't want to get filled there. Maybe. Usually you see it get moved to another spot very cleanly, and that one did not. Just came right off. So aggressive short, we're selling back off right now, so this is kind of going to get invalidated. As we were coming up here, I could see a really aggressive short off of these levels. Again, overnight high, value area low from yesterday, from prior day. I could see an aggressive short off these levels. And I know I'm just yapping about the market, but we had some movement there that looked like it might set something up based on the 65s being heavy, but that's off. We're now turning back down towards prior day low. This thing could start to sell off. I'm not going to get involved too quickly to the downside. I could see potential movement lower, but let's take a look and see. Yeah, choppy right now. I'm going to stay patient on this. We'll kind of watch and see. Potential aggressive short from up here. We come all the way lower first and then come higher. That's going to get invalidated. We cracked to the upside pretty early. I wouldn't mind my first trade being a real aggressive short off of these levels. Going to watch order flow. Going to watch what happens on bookmap. Make sure that looks kosher to hop in front of. To the downside, yeah, the 40s for like a sweep below this 15-minute opening range that we're about to set, and then maybe a crack back up to VWAP, but that could be a little bit dicey with overnight low being down here and just quite a bit on the book to the downside. So I don't know that I would step in front of it, but right now we're at VWAP. We're going to see how we move to these levels, right? What does price action look like? What does volume look like? Just looking on the 15-minute, yeah, kind of indecisive so far. Yeah, I could see a sweep up towards these levels, right? Just kind of a grab of liquidity, which we know is there on bookmap, but also probably on the other side, sitting there. Maybe we get a little bit of a crack, give us a way to structure risk. We start to blast above this pretty aggressively. I could see us moving back up towards the 5900s, right? Prior week point of control is right there, 5900, big round psychological number. Maybe we are going to flip this into a nice, a nice buying opportunity. But got a little bit of liquidity coming in there. A little bit of volatility coming in there at 9:45. Do we have some news on the book coming through 8:30 a.m.? I know we had red folder. Let's see. What do we have on the book for the rest of the day? Let's take a look. Yeah, 9:45. 9:45 flash manufacturing. Wasn't even looking at that. 9:45 flash manufacturing is red folder. Not nearly as large as like an unemployment. That's kind of why it's not on my radar. Not nearly as large as like an unemployment, an FOMC rate, Jerome Powell speaking. That's one of the few, and there's a few, red folder that I wouldn't mind trading through because we usually just don't get a huge candle that prints, kind of like what's happening right now. You still got to be cautious of it. Still red folder news, still high impact. And then we do have 10 a.m. Existing home sales. Orange folder, medium impact, not as crazy, not something that I would be terribly worried about trading through, but a reason to acknowledge that we could see maybe an increase in volatility around that 10 a.m. time frame as well. So we got some news. Market's moving. This isn't terribly quiet, just size-wise, like measuring volatility. Like it's somewhat calm when we're looking at individual candles, but these are some large movements, right? After yesterday, that was a fairly large movement. This isn't terribly calm. And, I judge that just by watching it day in and day out and being twitchy with a measurement tool kind of in the morning, looking at, what these candles are looking like as they print. You might be somebody that really favors the ATR, the average true range, and you could watch that on the same time frame. Average true range is a volatility indicator. It's not telling you what direction price is going to move or overbought or oversold. It's measuring volatility. And if you watch it on the same time frame day in and day out, you get a good feel for what that number is, right? And that could be helpful. So What's going on, chat? Good morning, everybody. We're looking for some sort of trades around 9:45. Are you not concerned for PMI? Oh, yeah, well, I didn't read that one fast enough, but there you go. Just, that was the movement and me checking it after. Hello, what's going on? Seconds to PMI. Yep. Good morning. Good morning, Nate. Good morning, brother. What's going on? What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys hopping on as always. You know the deal. Smash like, smash subscribe if you want to. You don't have to do anything. We're on here live every day, 9:30 a.m., showing you what real trading looks like for me. I'm not the best. I don't have all the biggest P&Ls, the biggest payouts. I'm not on the leaderboards, and I don't have all the live accounts. But I'll show you what real trading looks like for me, right? Wins, losses, break-evens. If you're looking for some magic strategy, the best trader in the world, that tells you, that they're the best to ever do it, probably not the right channel for you, right? I'll just keep it real. Show you what trading looks like for me, answer questions, just be a normal human, a person, kind of hanging out and trading, and not try to over embellish that. And if that's helpful for you, awesome. It's what I would have wanted to see when I was starting out trading, instead of all the BS that I watched. Along with that, we do giveaways, 50K straight to funded account giveaways every week. We gave one out yesterday on the stream. And along with all that, I will also be having more guests come on. Yesterday, we had the strong trader, Tanner. He is a hell of a trader, man. Ton of buzz around him. He's the dude yesterday, if you guys want to go back and watch that. He's the dude that coached the guy. He was the mentor of the guy who took the largest Apex payout at that point. I think someone's taken a larger one, but a $2.4 something million payout from Apex confirmed. It was all over Twitter because they didn't want to pay him out. There was some issue behind it. But eventually he did get that payout. But I will be having more traders. Not everybody has a story like that. Everybody in between, I'll be having more traders on the show. I got about 5 people lined up over the next week. Got someone coming on tomorrow. Luna Trades will be on the show tomorrow. Big time crypto trader, but also trading futures prop firms. He live streams almost every dang day. You could check him out ahead of time if you like, but Luna Trades will be on the show tomorrow, hanging out with me, trading live, talking shop like we did yesterday. I think it's great. It's the stuff that I like to do on here. More perspectives, right? More information, different people, trading different ways. I think it's going to be cool. It's going to be really cool. So I love watching podcasts and stuff like that when it's more than even one person. So to get live trading on my platform with like multiple guys taking multiple different trades, right? Like yesterday we had me on ES, we had Tanner on NQ, a little bit different style. He's on a very zoomed in chart, scalping for, these tight stop loss, larger risk to reward movements. Pretty cool to see. We'll get a feel for a whole bunch of different guys, man. So it'd be cool. Really cool. So let's see what we got out of this market today, man. Appreciate you guys hopping on, though, as always. Yeah, we still got liquidity on the book down to the downside, man. This could be the move back down towards overnight low. I would definitely take it aggressively short from up here because we got a lot of liquidity down to this overnight low level and below, right? And we're chopping here at VWAP, but this daily candle's pretty indecisive, and I could see us coming back down to sweep this low, maybe pull all the way down to the 800s today. Be a pretty large movement, but I could see that happening. If we're going to chop, I'd be on at the extreme, right? I'd be selling into the move to the upside, and maybe we just kind of chop back and forth right around this daily candle that we've set so far, right? Here's the high, here's the low, overnight session. So I definitely wouldn't mind that. We sell off really aggressively. I'm going to be cautious jumping in front of it. I might find a spot. To jump into a buy, but I'd be cautious jumping in front of it just because I think we can really move to the downside quickly. Probably would find something, but I would have to see what it looks like to come to the downside first. Yeah, wouldn't mind it up here. 75, 77s, we continue through that all the way up to like the 85s, above that. I don't think it's a sweep up above. That's an area of high volume right there. Just zooming out, checking visible range volume profile, kind of scoping out a trade idea, right? I try to frame them ahead of time, right? This way you kind of know what my thought process is coming into it, my approach, my strategy, my risk management. You watch it play out for a win or a loss and say, that's cool or that's not cool. I like that. I don't like that. I think that's helpful than just putting on trades and posting a P&L. Yeah, so yeah, I would take it on a sweep up above this level. Again, talking about liquidity that I can read on bookmap, we do have orders sell side there. Probably pop some stops up above that level as people maybe were getting short here or short on the way down from pre-market. Could see some volatility up there, but I wouldn't mind a entry short a little bit above the 75. But again, aggressive because we could blast, right? At that point, we'd be pushing to the upside. We'd be breaking 15-minute opening range high. I think if we come up above these 65s, we're going to get there pretty quickly, 75s. So that's interesting to watch. If you're looking long right now, not a terrible play, but still somewhat choppy coming out of this consolidation. But I could definitely see it long towards that level. Don't know if we do that though. As we come up there, yeah, there's not a ton to be worried ahead of time unless we're going to blast all the way back up, all the way back up, go trade out like the 90s, the 9,000, the 900s, 5900s. But first play would definitely be aggressively short right around that, let's say 75 to 78 area. That is my my play for an initial setup. Yeah, so let's watch what happens here. Let's watch what happens here. Yeah, staying thick on the book all the way through like the 76s. I'd probably have to give it a minute up there. I think we crack to the upside here. Unless we turn, we find these sell orders and we really can't do it. But yeah, I think we're going to do it here. Let's see what we get out of this market. 1 minute chart. Boom, get zoomed back in. Sorry for making you guys dizzy. Just kind of refresh everything there. Let's see what we get out of here. Morning, good morning. Just wait on it manifesting. Nate's long off VWAP 58.80. Nice. Nice, man. Oh, wait. 58.60 maybe? 58.80 would be up here. Oh, 2 value area low. Got you. He's long off of VWAP somewhere down here in the 50s to value area low from prior day up here. Yeah, I could definitely see that. I could see a retest. I could see some chop potentially. Again, we got temporary volume point of control, prior week value area low. VWAP's been hanging out here. We're back into this area of consolidation that we hung out in overnight session. Maybe this is all we have to do, right? But I'm going to play off the extreme. If I'm going to take a really aggressive entry, I got to wait for a really aggressive entry. Pretty tight stop loss. I'm expecting a reaction somewhere up there. That's what I'll be looking at. But let's see what we can do. Awesome. TP is value area low. Awesome. Hello, what's going on, guys? What's going on? What's up, chat? How we feeling today, chat? You guys bullish on this? Are you team bull or team bear? What are we thinking today? How are you thinking we're closing? Should I throw a poll in the chat? You think we're going to get a green candle on the daily or a red candle on the daily? Let's ask that question. We were opening up bearish, right? We had a red candle here. I mean, these are all white and gray, but we had a bearish candle opening up, right? Testing prior day low. Now we're slamming it into a bullish candle. You think we're going to come up here and continue this movement, or you think we're going to come back down, close bearish on the day following this structure from yesterday? Or is this just a retest before we blast off? Beautiful buying opportunity. Last one before we go and rip all-time highs. What do you guys think? Let me know in the chat. There's about 40 of you on here, man. I want to hear what you guys think. You bearish on the day, you bullish on the day. You say, that's a stupid thing to do, Zach. I don't play those games. I don't form biases. Biases are unhealthy. I just trade my system. You can have that approach too. That's good. Hey, what's going on, guys? What's going on? Still trying to figure it out. Too early to tell. Ralph says too early to tell. So still trying to figure it out, but I get that. People used to ask me, what's going on? Or no, they say having a good day, and I'd say too early to tell if it was in the morning. Bearish. We got bearish. Okay. Team Bears. Let's see it. Yeah, I think we're going to test this 75. We don't have to. We could shop around here for forever. Initially, I like the movement off of VWAP. This wasn't as quick as I'd like it. Like, I would have loved it to pop right here and go test it. That would be really aggressive. Why, right? Like, why would I like it earlier? The more we build a base, right, and form uptrend structure, the less it's an impulsive move that I think we're just going to reject from, right? the way that we get to a zone is important. Are we creating like beautiful uptrend structure to that zone where buyers are overpowering sellers the entire time and I'm just selling arbitrarily at a zone? Or do we get like an impulsive move that looks like maybe kind of a wick out before we move south? So, price action and market structure. It's simple. Volume. There we go. 9:57. Again, we do have that 10 a.m. news. This could be dicey. We got 10 a.m. orange folder news. I'm going to send it, guys. I'm going to send it, brother. But I might run this one. I'm going to run this one as a half risk for me. Going to run one mini on this. Probably about $500 worth of risk, just because we are coming into some orange folder news. Medium impact, which is existing home sales in about 2 minutes. My fear is that we crack to this level and then immediately wick down, and I think that's probably what's going to happen. And unless I want to enter with a limit order during news, which I really don't love the idea of doing, I'm probably going to miss this entry. Let's see what liquidity looks like. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait on this one. Again, guys, medium impact news coming up in a minute and a half. I like this for the short through the 75, 76s, right up to this level. I'm really tempted to throw a limit sell up here for one. It's a dicey move to do during news. Really dicey. I would have loved to be in it ahead of news and just let it run. I'd love for there even more to not be news, but this is the kind of thought process. You have to make a decision. What are you going to do consistently? Orange folder for me, it's just act accordingly. Just do your thing. Maybe reduce risk, like I'm considering, right? If I have to take a first stop out, it's half of one, individual stop out for me. A little bit more of an advanced move. I would recommend most guys. I wouldn't recommend anything because no recommendations or suggestions. But for me personally, what works good is just leaving risk consistent. This way, you're not taking wins on half risk and losses on full risk and really adjusting. But as you get more advanced, you could apply maybe a little bit of discretion as long as it's not over risking, right? If it's reducing risk for a reason, I think you're usually in the safe zone. So here we go. 15 seconds to this orange folder news. I'm not going to set a limit order. It's a crazy move to do. I think we're coming up here to crack this and then maybe reject back to VWAP, but we could crack right through. So let's see what we get. If we get anything. Here we go. Here's the push up. Can we go crack the 75s? Nope, not yet. Traded very close to it. Let's see if we get a test of this level, a sweep above overnight high, this area of structure from the overnight and from yesterday, actually, right, where we found some buyers before we actually sold through it. Yeah, this is mild enough where I'll look to jump in. We didn't get a crazy reaction out of that. We're only 30 seconds into that data release, but pretty mild. Not a ton of volume traded. Nothing crazy on the book. Liquidity still up here. Again, I want to see a push through to like the 76s before I would jump in short on this. Lines up with level of structure, so it's a pretty clean one. Could we blast through, right? Come all the way up through the, the 80s and 90s? Absolutely. We could definitely see that. I'm not going to wait for a super strong rejection. I'd like the 78s or something like that, 79s on a push up. I wouldn't mind that. Option 2 is it gets dicey up here. I just wait. We start to turn back down, and I look for a worse entry, but now on data that we are actually selling back off. So let's see what we get. Watching bookmap closely on this one, guys. Let's see. There we go. Trading through some of it. Order's still there. Ooh, we got a little bit more coming up on now above. So here's why I watch it as we come into these levels. Yeah, this could be a quick push through to the 900s. I think we're going to reject here first, but we do have orders. We got liquidity now through the 80s, 85s, 90, and then the 900s. We got about 110, 112, 184 consecutively sitting on the book up there. So these are sell orders on bookmap. And you guys can see them on your DOM or whatever you use if you use any form of order flow that could fill. I don't mind it still. Traded the 76.25s. I wanted to push through, test, sweep of this overnight high level, 79s. I'm waiting for an entry that I might not get. Yeah, just too much to dive in front of it right here. A little too much to dive in front of it. 76 is still there. We didn't fill. Let's see if we get some volume traded, like kind of a little bit of a reaction up here, and I wouldn't mind it. But this might be the turn right here. No sweep of overnight high yet. No, just a test of the high end of this level. Didn't get above this area right here. Got above this area from pre-market and starting to reject. Am I going to watch it play? I've been having a lot of these, man. I've been having a lot that get really, really close to the levels that I'm watching. That one did trade the 76. What did we trade? 76 and a quarter. But a lot on the book still right there. A ton of red on the book, going all the way up to the 90s and then the 900s. So I just know better than to dive in front of it. But this could be the turn to the downside, back down towards VWAP. And that's really all I'm looking out of this. It's not like a hold all day type of move. All right, let's see what we get here. Maybe a clean out above and some volatility back towards the highs. Let's see what we get. Stay patient, but got a trade setup coming. There we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna make this a normal risk now that I'm not diving in front of news. Can we clean out a little bit more of this sweep of overnight high? Come on, we're right there. Looking for like the 78s to trade out. Here's 76s. Do we jump right through to 80? I'm going to stay patient for a moment here, guys. That's overnight high right there being tested. I'm going to be patient because we got a lot of sell orders right through to the 80s.
Order filled.
But try it right here. Try it right here. We do still have orders up through the 90s, so this one could fail pretty quickly. But this is the level that I've been watching. I'm going to challenge myself to get involved. Now that we got through the 76s, this was the area that I was watching. See if we can get a reaction. You know, we do have orders that came on the book, but they came on pretty late. We still do have some up above this level, but I'd like to see we get a reaction here. Going to give it 10 points. I've been entering pretty mechanically with these, with this risk. Again, I'm going to trail pretty aggressively to the downside, the way that you've seen me do this yesterday. There we go. Getting a reaction, stop loss to break even right off the bat. I don't want to come back through this high. I got a really nice entry on this one. I've taken a lot of stops for break evens. That's part of the game. If I'm going to enter as we're pushing higher all day, every day, for a sell, I'm going to drag stop aggressive. I'm going to drag stop aggressive. Again, a lot of sell orders up here. This could be the stop. If we start to come down lower, I'm going to drag this right into profit, but I'm aggressively going stop loss to break even, not letting something that bounces from that level, 5 points, turn into a loser. Would rather just take a break even, wait for it to come back up maybe to the 90s, because I think that could happen pretty quickly unless we sell off right here. Thesis is we move right from this level. Not that we come up higher and hang out, that we go right now. So tight stop loss placement, risk-free trade, either going to be a winner or a small winner. That's it. It's a nice place to be. But again, a lot of liquidity through the 80s, 85s, and 90s. I'm not going to run a stop in the middle of that in the 86s. So no immediate rejection here, kind of hanging out, back up. That was looking decent for a second. Couldn't come through the 70s. We got liquidity down to the 70s. Looks like it's going to be a stop at break even. Let's see. I'm a stop plus 1 tick, right? 25.
Order
usually ends up right around break even. There it is. Stop at break even, coming back through, still holding this structure. Let's see. I'm going to get ready to try this one again, guys. Just with a different entry, right? Trading through the 80s. Now I'm going to look towards this last level, the 90s to fill. I think we might get through here quickly. We could still harshly reject. There's a lot on the book now at 80. A lot on the book now at 80. Let's see what we get. But I would try two different things here. I would try the aggressive short off of one of these levels of liquidity, or if we start to turn really harshly, I wouldn't mind jumping in late, right? Different trade where we're now starting to show weakness, where we come through and run that back down. Trade in the 80s. This could be the turn from right here, guys. 90s. Yeah, I'm not going to jump in front again just yet. I'm not going to jump in front again just yet, but one stop for break even. Again, moving 0.5, 0.4 in my direction. Not enough to grab profit. I just, I could take tiny wins like that, but on days where I take full stop outs, it's going to be hard to recover. So right now I'm looking at the 90s as another potential entry. We got 200 on the book up there. We're thick all the way through. We could definitely reject from up here. And again, I almost like it with a stop, up here, but let's see what happens. Nice rejection back down. Ooh, I don't mind this short again, guys. Oh, this looks decent. This looks decent. Strong rejection. Do we continue to the downside? Let's see. And we're going to watch management, right? We're going to watch whether getting stopped at break even or continuing in my direction is going to be a good move. And I'll tell you this. My data is, despite everything I said, right, about not letting something come all the way back up, being discretionary, reading order flow, my data is showing that sticking to a really mechanical drag into profit only after we move considerably trade management approach is probably going to be the way. And I'm about today, 1 day away from making that, very small adjustment, which would be, even with this aggressive approach, not going break even, dragging into profit and being tagged out for like decent profit, right? Half an R in a very systematic way, and taking full stop outs, despite my gut in a lot of these situations telling me not to do that. I got to trust the data. Just really got to trust the data. Now we are turning back down pretty aggressively. Sellers look like they want to take this thing lower from up here.
Order filled.
I'm going to try this from down here. We got some data now showing that sellers are attempting to take it lower. This is different than the very aggressive entry as we're pushing to the upside, how you saw me catch 1 or 2 ticks off of this initial reaction, where we have sellers finding some resistance up here at the 80s, attempting to come back up through it, and now sellers driving it down lower. On some volume, on some considerable volume, and a really declining cumulative volume delta, which I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention to on bookmap, but just a little bit more clean on market structure continuing to the downside, right? Worse entry, not all the way up here at the 80s, but on, actual, not confirmation, but just on some data showing we are, attempting to move lower, right? We might not just continue this initial drive to the upside. Maybe we got a shot to pull back down towards the 63s. The 5860s right back down at VWAP. We'll see what we could do. Again, gonna run this pretty tight on risk management. Haven't moved enough for me to start to move a stop loss just yet. Need to give this a little bit more time, but I am short 2 again, this time from the 5875s. Stop at 5885s. Nice. Can we get a push through this low area of volume right down here? That would be pretty clean. I would drag, again, getting ready to drag stop loss pretty quickly. I want to see this continue right here, right now, down towards VWAP. Can we do it? Got to come through this area of low volume right here. I know my cursor's right in between, but I'm getting ready to drag this stop loss. Show me $500 again. There we go. We're going to drag this one all the way down. I want to see this continue all the way through down to this low volume node. Otherwise, I'm trailed out for
Order
450. Trailed out right there. Small win. Let's see how this trade management plays, right? I want to see this continue. We made it down to that point where I'm getting real mechanical and actually getting some help from somebody that I'm going to talk to you guys a lot about. Really, really, really badass trader with a solid tested risk management approach here on ES that is very aggressive with dragging into profit. So I'm going to talk more about that with you guys. We'll see how this one plays. But $463 across 3 accounts. Tried it first for a stop out. That one would have actually paid. Tried it again for the, again, stop out, but this time in profit for $1,389. Now, again, getting really aggressive. I'm going to cut myself short on a lot of these. What I'm going to save myself is big full stop outs for that $1,000. So being very defensive with it. But here we go all the way down to this low volume, high volume area. I think we're heading back down to VWAP on this one, but let's see what happens, right? Initial play. And, you know, again, here's back to what I said after I closed that one out for break even. My data is showing me drag into profit at a certain point. The stop to break even move really quickly. It's starting to hurt me more than it helps me. My gut tells me to do it. My intuition tells me to do it. But my intuition and gut can lie to me. My data is not going to lie to me. So I'm going to have to really challenge myself to do that. Going to be interesting to see. Very aggressive, very counter to initial movements. I'm cautious with doing it, but with not doing it. But I've had more play out in my favor than go all the way back to stop loss. Right. First entry was up here. Stop loss was up here. This one would be showing, would have shown me, right, $1,100, something like that, on 2 contracts. But yeah, no complaints. 463. Let's look for the next setup. See what we can get. See what we can get. 1W on the live, right? Base hit stacking up. Can't complain. Can't complain. Especially when you're managing risk really tightly, right? Getting yourself into very, very risk-free, risk-off positions. But we're going to watch this one play, man. Watch this one play. This looks like the move back down towards VWAP. Now, second setup here. Second setup. I would have to see what happens as we come back down to the 50s. This area is a strong area. Good read, though. I'm happy with that one. Happy with getting short up here. Very simple, right? Simple levels, overnight high, value area low, utilizing bookmap. A little dicey as we had liquidity all the way up to the 900s and to the 90s to jump in front of that. But pretty clear cut, right? If we're going to move higher, likely we're going to come back down, retest VWAP, take out, guys that are getting long here. Not always, right? Sometimes we just blast off. If we're going to move lower, this is a great place to go and retest, take everybody out that was getting short down here, stop loss here, stop losses, up here, and then start to continue lower. But just a key place to be able to structure risk, right? Talked about that a lot with Tanner yesterday. A lot of the way that he frames his trades is what's a good way to structure risk? What's a clean invalidation point where I know that I'm wrong or right very quickly? So. But what do you guys think? Let's see. I'm bullish, longs only. Clipped early due to news, was fearful of coming down. Damn. Would it smack TP? Yeah. Again, just like we're talking about here, right? Collect the data, Nate. Collect the data. What should you be doing based on your results? Results don't lie. Good morning from Colombia. What's going on, man? What's going on? Appreciate you guys hopping on, man. Smash like, smash subscribe. While we're hanging out, watching this market come down, watching what would have been my trade playing all the way out to what looks like a full take profit, where, again, I'm going to have to be questioning myself whether I'm going to go stop loss to break even. That second trade management is exactly what I'm looking at doing, which I really, really do enjoy. Clipping yourself, around that 0.5 R in profit if it comes back on you, and allowing that last push to occur down to the take profit, continuing to drag, continuing to trail. But the break evens, man, it's break evens continuing. Yesterday's an example of where I would have been taken out for a loss on that crazy wick, but We'll have to see. But while we're hanging out, watching this market, going to show you guys this right here. Top One Futures. If you don't know, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated. I can't stand to be unbiased. Top One Futures is still running 40% off all accounts with code RDF. RDF is my code. It gets you a better deal than what's on the site, than what's available with any random normal code. RDF will always get you the best deal, match it, or better. Right now, it's 5% better than the current deal that you'll get using the code from the site or from their emails. You also get both add-ons free, anytime payouts, no daily loss submit. This puts you into a 150K funded account, not a challenge, not an eval, no wasting time, trading for money you're never going to withdraw. This puts you in for under $500. I'm super bullish on this, but go to the site, guys. Go to the site. Do your own research, look at who's behind the brand, look at the frequently asked questions page, all of the rules, the platform, everything. You guys got questions on this? Feel free, let me know. Happy to talk about it. Hella bullish on this. I am going to throw the link in the chat to check it out again. And I repeat myself a lot on this, but I hear a lot of guys ask really, really simple questions. Go to the site. Go to the frequently asked questions page. It's the same on Tradeify, Top Step, My Funded, whatever. All of these, almost all of these have a frequently asked questions page at the top. That has all the detailed information. Payout structure, payout times, any rules that you have to know about, what you need to do to get a payout, how the drawdown works, all of that stuff. And it's our job as traders to read that site, read the frequently asked questions site in detail, every single sentence. And then if you have a question, ask their support. Hop in their Discord, ask one of the mods, or reach out to their support. If you don't do that, you're setting yourself up to fail. And, I like so many guys start trading and they blow an account, they lose an account, not because like they were trading poorly or they, really did something inherently wrong. They just didn't know about a rule, right? So if you're going to play a game, you probably want to know about the rules, right? Otherwise, you're going to learn all of them as you break them. And I've done that before myself. It's not fun, especially when it doesn't have to happen. All the rules are there for you. So Top One Futures. It's what I'm on here right now. A lot of guys ask and think that I'm trading a Top Step account right now. This is Top One Futures on Project X. This is not Top Step X. Project X is its own platform. Top One Futures is instant funded. Copy trading 350K funded accounts from day one. It's sick. Super bullish. No needing to make $9,000 across 2 days, maybe, before you pay an activation fee, right? And failing a bunch of combines and wasting time and energy and headspace. I do think there is a case for those evaluations, right? If you can't make it work with the consistency rules in instant funded accounts, or you are just not confident at all in yourself and your trading, and you want to move away from demo and you want to go to the smallest, cheapest eval account, I think they serve a purpose there. But it's very few and far between. That's just my humble opinion. If you are consistent, you want to put risk on the market, you have a reason to believe you're ready to make money trading, instant funded prop accounts over a live account, I think offer a wildly insane opportunity. I don't know how long they'll be around for. I hope they don't go anywhere. But if they do, there's always going to be the market, man. Whether it's indices, stocks, Forex, whether we're trading crypto, whether we're trading some other random internet weird money or dandelions, there's going to be some form of trade, right? There's probably going to be a candlestick chart that tracks price. Probably going to be some volume, maybe some order flow. And as long as you have that skill set, you'll be able to translate it. That's my opinion. That's why I stay confident that I'll be able to adapt to changes. I've had to do it before, coming from crypto to Forex to really from indices, from equities first, which I still have that's my rather large size live accounts, right? Stonks. But I've had to adapt before, and I can adapt again. There we go, down to the 60s, man. Stop loss and profit, stop loss and break even, not helping me. It's another example of it, guys. Again, I talk about this stuff here not to sound like a genius or an idiot, but just to show you kind of my progress, my process, right, for improvement. Every day, you're not going to get it right. And on another day, that retests this level right here and then rips to the upside to go grab the 90s. And I go, look at how smart I am, dragging stop loss to break even, right? But what I look at is large sample sizes. What's happening more often than not is dragging this bad boy, this initial one, to break even, stopping me and then continuing in my direction. Yes. Yes, it is. And had I not done that, I wouldn't even had a chance to take the second one. I'd be dragging that one into profit and either capturing a larger profit, the same, or a full take profit, which wouldn't have even been all the way down here because my entry was better on that first one. But there's the take profit on the second one. The 60s being traded out for, a full, what I'd be looking at for a full take profit. So trade management, that's the part to review the most, in my humble opinion. Once you have your strategy down, your entries down, your risk management down, what do you do after you get into the trade? You touch it at all. You go stop loss to break even. You drag it into profit. You add, you remove, you scale in, scale out. You continue to average down and drag your stop loss and move it away. No, that's the part that you can always adjust and adapt to. But can't complain. solid entry, 2 chances. Market did everything it needed to do. Very smooth movement. No drawdown taken whatsoever on either of those entries. No complaints. Very simple stuff. Does this work every day? Absolutely not. Does it work enough to be dangerous, in my humble opinion, and provide a good way to structure risk and maybe make a little bit more when you're right and lose a little bit less when you're wrong if you manage your trades correctly? Yes, I do. So that's gonna be trade number 1. Back down to the 50s. Like I said, want to see what happens as we come back down here. Choppy now, right? No continuation on the upside. Do we start to sell through this really aggressively? That could be difficult for me to find an entry. I'm not going to look really aggressively long right down below this level. Do we find buyers at VWAP? I'm sure we got a lot of the ASFX boys getting long down here. Stops maybe below structure, long off of VWAP. Very, very clear and highly watched area right here. So let's see what we get. There we go. Ralph's long at VWAP. Simple. All right, simple. There we go. Selling back off. Selling off down towards these 55s, right? Nice key level through VWAP. I wouldn't be surprised if this is where we find buyers, right? This is just a decent high volume area from the open. We start to come through that pretty aggressively, get down below prior day low. This is going to start to look really weak. Liquidity on bookmap, like we talked about, all the way down to the 800s with a big stack sitting on the book down there. Do we go and tag that today? Maybe. Yeah, down towards this overnight low level first for a potential really aggressive movement if we sweep these lows. Kind of similar to what we did up here. Maybe we just make for a choppy, indecisive day. But I got nothing in between here. Cautious. I don't need to give back profit right off the rip if I don't have to. So let's see what we get. 1W. Kind of some back and forth movements this week. Nothing crazy, man. Like I said, it's been really choppy. I've had more no trade sessions on these lives than I like to. Like we just saw, I'm not going to be bashful about getting involved, throwing, multiple minis on the chart, thousands of dollars of risk, per day, right? Taking multiple trades. But if there's nothing or we come right back to VWAP and just chop around, I usually don't like to get involved in the middle of that. It's just, and when I do, I don't do well. I don't think most guys do, or girls. So I always say guys. But let's see what we got. Out with short on NQ. Nice. Very nice. Someone held it down short. Someone took target at overnight high. Nice. Let's see. Let's see what we get, chat. So back down to this temporary volume point of control, area of high volume, the middle of this consolidation from the morning. We start to bounce here. You know, I don't know. We flip this back into a nice bearish candle and really start to sell off. We come back down below prior day low. That could be looking weak, man. Could be looking pretty damn weak. I'm interested to see what we get here. I really am. But as always, guys, appreciate you hopping on. I'm going to throw the link to the 100% free Discord. Not a VIP feeder program. I don't have a course to sell you in there. 100% free. Happy to have you in there. Everybody in there talking, trading, sharing their journey. Good, bad, everything in between. That is the link to hop in. We're more than happy to have you there. And I appreciate you hopping on here. You could hit like, you could hit subscribe. You don't have to do anything. Do whatever you want. Free means free. That means you don't have to do anything. Along with that, as you guys know, we give away some accounts. Maybe we get back into doing some cash giveaways. But we gave away a 50K straight to funded account. Yesterday. That has been fun from Top 1 Futures. Shout out Top 1 Futures. Let's see what the market's got. Back to VWAP. Some buyers found. Let's see if this pushes back towards the upside, right? If we come all the way back up on this, I do think we're going to check out the 900s. That would be buyers found down here, and we're just getting this real slow, bullish price action. That's really not going to provide a great entry for me. We start to come through this pretty quickly. I think we could sell off pretty aggressively. And I'm interested to see where we go. Again, looking at bookmap to the downside, we're thick to the 850s, meaning we got a lot on the book at the 855s, right below price here, and the 850s. I think we could start to go, man. I really do. That was a chance. Buyers had chances all the way here to step in. I think we could start to make a decision here. Break and retest a VWAP to the downside, headed back down towards this low. We dance around up here a little bit more and then come back down through. I think we're headed lower. Kind of think we're headed lower right now. Yeah, 855's got some orders on the book, and then 850s cracking down below prior day low, right to the 45s. Could be a quick movement. This is not bad, chat. This is not bad. Would have liked to see like buyers try it a little bit higher, kind of clean everybody out one more time, and then come back down. But this looks like we want to break the 55s, and we could start to head quickly lower on this. Kind of the middle ground here. I don't love getting involved here, but this is a decent setup coming through. VWAP, sweep of the highs, taking everybody out. Bearish on the day, bearish structure. Let's see if we get like one more push up and then we start to try to come through this again. I'm going to look short on it. That's going to be my play. Could definitely find buyers here, right? And just come right back up and make this a nice bullish day. But we got orders close here, 55s and 50s, 45s, not a ton, but still to the 45s, right down below prior day low. Not bad for a short. Grab this liquidity that's right above price. There we go. Turn it back down. It really wasn't the sweep of the highs that I wanted. It's just above prior bar high. Looking short, guys. That's my play. Looking short. Waiting because I think we could crack really quickly to the upside here. This was close, man, but it really wasn't the clean out that I wanted. I think this might be the break. Let's see. Do we dance one more time, come up above these highs, take everybody out, and then come back down? I'm really going to like it. Yeah, I think I'm going to have to wait. Gonna have to wait. Got about 100 on the book right above. I'm gonna have to wait to see if we grab that first. Yup. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see what the market's got. Let's see what the market's got for us. Yeah, this might be the break. Maybe. Again, this is a little dicey because we do have liquidity right here. I would have loved to see a wick up here to like the 65s and then a crack right back down. I would be short already. That just like was not enough. I think we're going to go, but yeah, here we go. Starting to come down into it. I think we're going to go, and I'm probably going to watch this one play out in my favor, but this just wasn't a clean enough level. Not enough of a wick up here. We still got 100. Yeah, around 100 on the book, up at the 61.5. Just not enough for me to say I want to get short right around VWAP. It needs to look really clean down here to run a 10-point stop, which would be sitting right here at like the 67s. But this looks pretty good to the downside. Liquidity at 50 and down to 45. But again, we could still find buyers here and bounce. And unless we pulled a really nice movement, like what I mean by nice is like wick up here, like looking like we're going to bounce right off a VWAP, take everybody out that's getting long, and then just come, that's getting short, and then come really hammer right back down into that low, then I really like it. Then I really like it for a short. I think we're going to continue that structure to the downside. See, we're pulling back up on this, and you can pull one of these movements, a little bit more comfortably. It's one of these. Yep. Let's see. Now do we hammer the low again? Through liquidity at the 60s, above all of this little consolidation. Now do we come right down through the low?
Order filled.
I'm going to try this bad boy short. Back down towards the low. I'm taking that as a little bit of a sweep up above. Buyers failing to take it back above VWAP. $1,000 on the line. Yeah, this is going to be closer just to a regular 1-to-1 based on where I'm at in profit. Got to come through the 50s pretty aggressively, but I think if we do, we can come right down through this prior day low level. Dicey area, right? We are right at VWAP, but sellers trying to take it lower, hammering into this low. That might not have been enough. We might have to come back up through these 65s before we come lower. There is still liquidity at the 62s. Right below the 65s. I liked this for a crack back up. Buyers trying it, and then sellers stepped right back in on decent volume to take it lower. So that was my entry as we're coming down lower. But let's see if I go back down. See if I have to take an L on this one. I'll have to find out. Again, if we can hold this, break to the area, break the consolidation to the downside out of this area of high volume, I think we're headed back down towards this prior day low level area that was tested multiple times. Simple enough for me. Again, kind of dicey because we're in the middle of this area. Like I talked about, I don't love getting involved down here, but this is a decent opportunity. Order flow lining up for it. We could clean right back out up here. This doesn't give me a really, really clean invalidation level. Like I don't love this for a stop. I'd like it obviously like way out here, but then I don't have a great way to structure risk because I don't know that we come all the way down to overnight low on this, right? I don't know that we blast lower. But that's my play. Putting some trades on with you guys. Making up for some no trade sessions. Just got into the Discord. Just joined the Discord. Awesome, man. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you. Let's see. Sellers trying it, man. Trying it. Can we do it? Can we get a nice little break to the downside here? There we go. We're going to try it to the downside. 850s is the level that I want to watch. I am going to look to, again, manage this one tightly, watching it on bookmap. Really need to come right down through this now. There we go. There we go. 850s. Can we trade them out? Let's see. Let's see what we could do here. Guess what we're going to do, guys? For better or for worse? What do you think? Stop loss to break even again. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I didn't get the push enough. I didn't wait. Didn't get the push enough. Let me see. Because I'm looking at a specific number here, and that wasn't it just yet. So I'm jumping the gun there. Yeah, gotta be a push down here, down towards the 50s before I'm stop loss dragged into profit, where I'm looking for us to continue down lower. Uh, 1460. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at. So 850s, we got quite a bit on the book. Can we continue down through that towards the prior day low level? Do we have to come back up on this, take everybody out? You know, buyers could step in really aggressively right from this level and wick this thing back up. But again, I'm going to be a little bit more mechanical on the stop loss, dragging into profit. Let's see. Let's see. Can we come through the 50s? A lot of buy orders right here, guys. We're either going to see nice crack to the downside through the 50s, down towards this prior day low level. There we go. Or we're going to see a wick back up on this. Can't do it just yet. This could be trouble down here. There we go. There we go. Now, do we find buyers, or do we get a little bit of continuation out of this bad boy? Got to see this continue lower here, guys. Going to be stop loss to break even now. Again, going to watch how this plays. This could be a problem. I might take this off. Got a lot of buy orders coming in at the 850s. Yeah, I need to see this continue down through the lows. Otherwise, this is going to be a problem. 850s, a lot on the book. Yeah, we could crack right down to the 47s. Nah, buyers stepping in on this. Can we crack through the 850s right here? Again, down to the downside, or a buyer's going to step in. This thing going to go take a breather right back up at this area of high volume. Do I want this one? Yeah, I want the 500 or the max profit. I'm going to leave this one on for now. I want to see one more push through, and I'm likely going to manually close. Just looking at bookmap, we start to push through this. There's a lot down here. I think it's going to be unlikely that we just aggressively sell off before we return to this entry. There we go. Got to come down through it. Can it do it? Last chance. Otherwise, we're bouncing. Here's 850s. A lot of orders on the book right here. Can we get a nice crack down through? No. Buyer stepping in again on this bad boy. Yeah, it's gonna be a max profit day or a $500 day. That's what we're going with. That's what we're going with, chat. Could rack up, 1,000, 1,100, taking that one, but I'm gonna let it go.
Order filled.
Stop for break even, chat. There it is. Let's see. Let's see if I get another one that shows me don't go stop loss to break even. Remember, entry was right up here. 10 points is back up here at like the 66.25s. Let's see what this one looks like. Do we come back down to the 46 first, or do we go hit the 66 first? 46 first would be don't touch stop loss to break even. 66 would be saving a stop out. So that's what we're going to be on the board to see. I still think this is coming lower, which is why I left that one on. Quite a bit on the book right down here. Like I said, either we're going to crack through this nice and aggressively at the 850s. We started to test into it, or we're going to find these buyers and it's going to drive us back up higher. Come and check this area out. So let's watch it. Can't complain though. Happy with my entries, happy with my stop loss placement. Trade management's going to be either solid or leaving some more to be desired, man. Let's see. Let's see where we go from here. Let's see what we get from here, chat. Buyers are looking, buyers looking pretty strong. We do have orders up there. 66s. This is kind of turned into a choppy move. Could just be a sweep back up here one more time before a continuation lower. But yeah, let's look at this. This was the second trade. Right down here, right? It was right above that. Let's see how that one pans out for a stop at break even so far. Seller stepping in at VWAP. We got some momentum to the downside again. Seller's going to try to take this lower. This looks like the push down to the 850s. Here we go, chat. Here comes the case to never move a stop loss to break even. Drag it into profit, let the thing run to a stop loss or take profit. Something in between. But stop loss to break even, man, even with my really aggressive entries, continually proving to me that it is less profitable in the long run. I will save myself some difficult stops. But I think this is going to prove to me to be another one, another example to file under the trade management review. Yeah, interesting on bookmap. Yeah, dropping cumulative volume delta. This could really start to take off to the downside. I think we could go and crack 850s right down to 45s, and it could be lookout below. We had some that came on the book up here, but even that's getting dragged down. Rejection, harsh rejection of VWAP right down back towards these lows. Buyers can take it higher here, and we could just turn this into a super choppy day. But so far, this is some downtrend structure. But 3 trades, 2 break evens, both of which showed me decent profit, and 1 partial profit, which would have continued all the way to the final target. So a lot of opportunity to collect, and trade management, very aggressive, right? Limiting risk, really not letting things come back on me once they move in favor. But I think that's going to be a downside, a drawback. And we're watching it play out today. So I'm happy to do this stuff live. Along with that, it creates a beautiful journal for me. I can go back through and watch any of these myself, take a look at what I did and why as I was articulating it, and make these types of adjustments. But interesting market. Back down to VWAP. Sellers trying to hold it, trying to take it lower. Can't get back down below prior day low just yet. We'll have to see. We will have to see. Just checking a couple messages here. Let's see what we got rolling. Checking out my community. If you guys want to hop in there, link is in the chat. 100% free trading community. Got some guys break even for the day, guys and girls, because girls are real people too, and I always say guys and boys. Let's see what we had going on. Some memes rolling. Yeah, we had some people throwing some limit buys in. Yeah, man, this one's interesting. This one's interesting. I think we're coming lower on this. I really do. But let's see. There we go. Back down to try the 850s again. I'd be shocked if we don't come through the 850s on this one. We got a couple hundred on the book down here, right around this 850 level, 5850 level, right down around these lows. I'd be kind of surprised if we didn't go crack prior day low on this one. Once again, showing me that moving stop loss to break even is a scam. It's the biggest scam in trading. But we're gonna have to watch this one play out and see. Again, talking a lot about trade management just because that's what I'm hyper focused on in my trading quite a bit. Reading the chat, Kobe, I think I'd reach out right to their support. What's going on, brother? Thanks for hopping in. I'd reach out right to their support. I would reach out from the website, not somebody in Discord. And this way you can provide your account number or numbers and have them take a look at exactly what you got going on. I know Top One's dashboard has kind of been like wonky a little bit. I don't really pay attention to it. I just pay attention to Project X. But I would reach out, have somebody confirm based on your account specifically before you do anything else for sure. Climbing back for break even, insight. Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Again, I'm just yapping about trading for fun here, but if you take some value out of that, I think so. I think so. I think that's awesome. Just not that long. Nice. Sorry, but part of it, man. Part of it. What's the line at the high of day? This would be just a drawing. This is just a straight up drawing. Overnight high. Let me go back here. These are coming off of the daily chart. My chart is very simple, guys. I also have a video straight on my YouTube that breaks all of this down. But I got overnight high and overnight low, which gives us the candle that's forming before market opens, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, right? I have prior day high and low, which is coming off of this candle right here. This is out on the daily. I mark it from the 15, but this is giving me prior week's volume profile, fixed range volume profile, coming from the drawing tools over here, right over here. I mark off value area high, value area low, and prior week point of control. And then I do the same thing for the prior day right here. Prior day, value area high, low, and point of control. Those levels seem to be interesting. If we start to really break out and trend and have some large movement like we did today, maybe they don't come into play so much, but you could see how value area low and overnight high came into play today, right? Some added confluence with I don't really like that word, but a level area of interest that added in that I was using along with bookmap, right? To take a nice short entry here. And right from that level, if you just arbitrarily entered right there, maybe you take a couple points of heat and the thing moves almost 30 points in your favor. Does it always happen like that? No, right? Following some downtrend structure coming from into pre-market and prior day yesterday, do I think we're about to sweep this level of liquidity and come back down to VWAP? Yes. That's why I took the same trade twice and ended up making $1,500 across 3 accounts. Simple. And now we are just chopping a VWAP. So again, guys, not in a trade. This was my 3rd trade, stopped at break even. I still think we're going to come and hit this. I'm just curious to see from a trade management perspective, do we go and tag my take profit, which was somewhere down here around the 46s, or do we go and tag my stop loss? Had I not moved stop loss to break even at all, would I have been able to capture a full take profit on this bad boy? Time will tell. But appreciate you guys hopping on here, man. As always, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Feel free, hop in the free Discord, smash like, smash subscribe. I'm here 9:30 a.m. Eastern almost every damn day, trading straight from these funded accounts or whatever accounts I'm in, but showing you what real trading looks like for me. Wins, losses, break evens, talking about why I'm doing what I'm doing, showing you stuff that didn't work out so great like today, right? Even though nice and green, right? Can't complain. $500 across some accounts, 1,500 almost. Would have been max profit multiple times had I not managed my trade the way that I managed it, right? Had I just let that bad boy run. So, again, but we can watch that stuff play out, kind of talk about what's happening and then how I like to try to adapt and improve and adjust, right? So there's been some adjustments for me personally, getting more zoomed in, a little bit heavier on size, tighter on risk, trade management, right? Just the same way of the tools that you're going to use, the areas you're going to enter, where you're going to place an idea for a stop loss and take profit and validation point. What are you going to do after? You're going to touch it at all, stop loss to break even. You're going to scale in, scale out, trail, whatever, multiple stop loss placements. So many different trade management styles that link up with risk management. And it's an area that you can kind of easily read what's working and what's not working, right? You collect data, or you just go back through and throw, executions on your chart and you review, and you go, okay, what did I do? Well, I moved, I didn't touch it at all. And it keeps coming back to break even and then to stop loss. Maybe I want to go stop loss to break even. Keeps running to my take profit, and I get stopped to break even before it does that. Probably want to stop going stop loss to break even, which I was doing on the 15-minute chart, more zoomed out. I was really, really hesitant to come in with that type of energy to the 1 minute, really zoomed in with higher risk. But I think price is just going to continue to show me that that's the better call. That's the better call. I do really like the drag stop loss into profit aggressively as you approach your take profit, which is different than just going stop loss to break even at some arbitrary point or just when you feel like it. And I think that's how I'm going to be running it mechanically. Again, taking some insights, some sauce from another solid trader, one of the best that I know, that I'll be talking about more coming up. Yeah, we're trying these 850s again. Come on, we got to break it now. Got to break it now. Don't have to do anything, but let's see. There we go. So filled, they were actually at like 850 and a half, 850.75, filled there, but now we got it heavy down to the 46s. This looks like the break to the downside. But let's see. Let's see it. Let's see it. Let's see it. Thank you, Real Trading. See you in Discord. Yeah, man. Show you what real trading looks like, right? No trading view charts with position tools telling you what I did after the fact. None of that fun stuff. Just the real deal here, man. For better or for worse, right? And again, don't claim to be the best. I don't claim to know it all, to have some magic strategy or a million, payouts and be on leaderboards or have live accounts. None of that stuff, man. I'll just show you what trading looks like for me, day in and day out. Good, bad, everything in between. There we go. This looks like another take profit that is a break even for me. The tough part about this, and when you adjust, the one double-edged sword here is you're not going to be right every day, right? And oftentimes when you make the adjustment is right about the time that it comes back to say, you know what, now you're going to start taking full stop outs. So as you make an adjustment, what I will say as I'm talking about it, there's take profit again. If you're going to do it over a large sample size, right? Try to make that adjustment and then stick to it consistently, and kind of how I make these changes myself to the best of my abilities, and let it play out, right? Because Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, I could have multiple of these trades that instead of doing what it just did here, come all the way down here. Maybe I don't have a chance to drag it into profit like I would want to do right here. But I don't go stop loss to break even. It makes it, 6, 7, 8 points. I don't touch it, and it comes all the way back down. But the thought process is, out of the next 100 trades, is this going to help me or hurt me? And so far, based on a decent sample size, watching it play out over a little while, hurting more than it's helping. So that's going to be my session with you guys, watching that one play out. Solid session, right? No complaints. W on the live. Yeah, right. Happy about that. Multiple trades moving directly into profit with no heat. I cannot complain at all. Grateful for the profit that I've taken. Solid entries up here for shorts. Solid entries down here for shorts. Good read of the market. If you guys have questions on it, hop in Discord. Happy to kind of always talk about, kind of what I see, how I run the market. Does it happen every day? No. Hop on, you watch me take L's. But remember, guys, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. If you trade, you're probably going to lose all of the money that you trade with. I'm just an idiot here yapping on YouTube for entertainment purposes only. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, this bad boy right here, 40% off. Both add-ons free. This is better than any other deal you're going to find on the website. It's 35% off with their code. Code RDF gets you the sauce. Remember, I'm affiliated, I'm partnered. I cannot stand to be unbiased. If I stand to make money, I'm hella bullish on Top 1 Futures. Check it out for yourself. Do your own research. And guys, I will see you live here tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. with special guest Luna Trades. Hyped to have more people coming on the show, talking about trading, sharing different perspectives. See you guys soon. See you in Discord. Have a great rest of the day. Trade well.